Hey, it's Jose Galison of No Way Jose. You can find me on the No Way Jose YouTube channel. Also, just about everywhere audio podcasts are at. I'm no longer going to be running the Liberty Movement YouTube channel and BitChute. I need to do like a short little blurb here soon to kind of like go into detail because I would like to find someone else to run it for me because I think it is a good thing to keep going. I just don't have the time for it anymore. But not to get too much into that. Just so y'all know, it's down for the moment. So if any of you guys do watch on the Liberty Movement, usually that YouTube channel, you might want to fucking come subscribe to mine if you aren't already. Today, my guest is Clint from Liberty Lockdown, and we're going to be covering the clear pill. We'll go into that more. As always, give me fucking money because I like money. A lot of y'all know I'm going to be going through a big transition here soon, so any little bit you can give me helps. I do want to say thanks, though. You guys finally got me a point where I'm not losing money, so that's something. Technically, at this point, I make $1 an episode, once I take into account, having to pay for my streaming services and shit. So, hey, that's fucking something. It took me 6 months to not lose money. It is what it is. Not trying to get rich off this, just trying to have fun. You can give me money at patreon.com. So that's No Way Jose 2020. You can also give me crypto at endthefed.app. All right, let's fucking get Clint up in this bitch. What's up, dude?
What's up, Broham?
Hey.
I'm happy to hear about your transition. I hope it goes smoothly.
Yeah. I mean, it's where they take the Audi and make it an innie,
Yeah, I'm pumped for you.
Just so if any of you don't know, I am active duty military and I'm getting out here soon. I fully intend to. I'm not gonna lie, if some crazy financial shit happens, I got mouths to feed. Call it evil if you want. I'm gonna fucking re-up.
But if we go to war, you may have no choice, so we'll find out.
I mean, part of what we're doing in this episode right here, talking about the clear pill, is part of, call it what you will, but I see the writing on the wall, and I partly is like, don't get me wrong, I'm completely anti-military in a sense. Like, I'm an ANCAP, so like, it's not my shit. I'm not about it, but part of why I want to get out is due to like what we're talking about here and how I see things going in the future. That'll play into the clear pill. Before we go much further, Clint, everyone should know who you are by now. You've been blown up. You got the Dave seal of approval. I remember when you were down in the triple digits for subscribers, and now every day I poke in on your YouTube and just fucking shitload more. Just going gangbusters.
Yeah, it's going really well, man. Yeah. Dave's the golden goose, and he laid an egg for me. In truth, I was actually doing pretty well prior. When Pete came on, that really helped spike things, and it just kind of really exploded after that. Having Vin on and all these other big names is like crazy, and I'm hoping to get Barricade Garage and Maj Toure and Eric July and all of the black ANCAPs, just trying to cancel out the bald Nazi look so that people don't think I'm down with that shit.
Yeah, dude, I've been wanting to get Barricade. I sent him a couple shit here and there. He's fucking hilarious. Y'all don't know him. Barricade Garage, go check him out. He's on YouTube. He's fucking like, imagine if Dave Smith and Maj Toure had a baby. Like, that's what he is.
I got him booked for May 5th.
Oh shit, you got his attention. All right, well, I guess comes with the territory.
Well, I'll drop your name when he comes on.
Okay, yeah. Tell him I said that he's a mix of Dave and fucking Mosh. He's like an unsung treasure. Like I don't know. I'd never heard of him until someone showed me a while back. I'm like, this dude's fucking awesome.
Yeah, so, he just rips like 10 to 15 minute clips in his truck. It seems like he's at work. I don't know, but I love the dude, so I can't wait to talk to him.
Yeah, Barricade Garage, I looked into it. It used to be like a mechanic thing, and then I just over time somehow shifted into something else. But he's like fucking hilarious and based as shit. So yeah.
He's gonna be fun to talk to. I don't know anything about the guy other than a few of the rants I've seen him go on. So it'll be interesting to introduce him to the world that that doesn't know about him already.
Yeah. So you were, before you got Dave, I don't want to make it sound like I'm saying you got all your shit from Dave. That just everyone knows once you get that Dave moment, it blows up. So yeah. You were like what, to like 600 to 800 subs, and you've been doing around 6 to 8 months around the time, which is pretty goddamn good. Like I know a lot of people like spend years and years and years before they get to even a few hundred subs. So well, in like truth, you were killing it.
In truth, I only started my YouTube in December. So I was strictly an audio podcast for the first 6 months of my existence. So when I switched over, or didn't switch over, but I added the YouTube and the video medium, that was, I pretty quickly got like, 500 to 700 subscribers. But even now, I still have probably 3 times as many audio only listeners as I do on YouTube. your YouTube subscribers. So yeah, it's the audio medium is still the focus for me. I guess people like to listen to me more than they like to look at me, which I kind of agree with. I do have a better voice than I do a face. So yeah, that's how it's going. And obviously, yeah, going on Part of the Problem was enormous. Having Dave come on my show was enormous, and then having him and Pete talk about me on Part of the Problem without me even knowing that I was on his radar and saying, "Oh yeah, Clint's great, Liberty Lockdown, da da da," and Pete's fucking blowing me up, and it was like, it was just such a great clip. And I think that alone, keeping that as my pinned tweet, so like every time someone checks out my profile, I have that clip of like hopefully someone that they recognize, that they can click it and go like, okay, well now he's been approved by Senpai, as I know you call him all the time. So
yeah,
that's how it worked.
That's some like meme shit from like anime stuff. It's like, notice me, Senpai. But yeah, no, I mean that's the key to success really in this thing, is just get everyone to love you, you know. And so,
yeah, well that helps. That helps. I mean, and also get a few people to hate you. That's how it goes.
Yeah, the right people, you know. It's
right.
you know, it's all about networking. Yeah. Anyways, like I said at the beginning, I want to get into the clear pill. And this is, I guess we'll kind of go into the whole pill thing. I wanted to define terms first. I'm sure most people understand all this shit, but me and you kind of define terms. I kind of want to go in the quick progression first, at least what I think the normal progression is. It's like you start blue pilled, you go fucking red pilled. And a lot of people will say like, there's like, might be like a purple pilled like stage or whatever. It's not an exact science. This is just some shit some bros on the internet made up. So like, don't expect too much out of it. But so roughly blue to red, and then from red to black, and then from black to white. And then I think from white to clear. And that's what we'll get into first. But we'll kind of like, we're going to mostly focus on the black and the white here, because I think those are the ones more pertinent to the clear. Like, because blue and the red are more about like your, I guess, kind of almost like, it's not necessarily political orientation, but I guess kind of how you view the fucking cathedral, if you will. It's kind of how those ones are. So I guess we'll go ahead and start with terms. You want to define or, you know, first off, do you disagree with that progression at all? I mean, obviously the clear pill, I haven't really introduced you to what it is. I mean, we may have talked in passing, but does that sound like an accurate representation of the general progression?
I think the only disagreement I would have is that I don't think red naturally leads to black. Sometimes you can skip black and go straight to white. But otherwise, yes, I think that's a really good description.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I said, not exact science, but roughly, I think that's how it usually works out.
Sure.
I mean, so we'll go ahead and start. We'll do the blue pill. I don't know if you want to provide a definition for that. You know, I mean, I'll let you have it. You're the, you know.
Sure. Blue pill to me is just someone who believes that your best interests are being looked after by the government, by the media, that you're not being lied to. And if you are being lied to, it's completely unintentional. It's kind of like a fresh baby coming out of their mother, you know, like you're just a little bit naive, and God bless, you know, in some ways I envy those people that can still watch the news and feel like they're receiving the truth. But at the same time, I wouldn't go back. I very much, the reason I'm red pilled, the reason I've gone down this path is because I follow the truth, and it has nothing to do with my comfort zone. It's like, you just have to keep progressing. So that's my definition of the blue pill. Do you have any difference?
No, I just want to kind of provide that's a good one, but a good way I like to look at it too is it's kind of the minarchist position of like that everything's just incompetence, that the issue with government is that it's incompetence. It's not that it's evil. And then I feel like, you know, not to go too, but obviously the red pill would be more like they're evil. So I mean, obviously evil and incompetent, but you know, it's a whole thing. Like, I mean, people have probably heard Malice say, you know, don't drink or have the whole fucking bottle or whatever, because that's where you get there nothing but evil. I think it's kind of dumb to think the entire thing is just evil. It's evil and incompetent. Yep. But if you're looking at it as simply incompetent, I think you're in a blue pill position. Because if you genuinely don't think there are evil actors within here, or like really even if it's at its root evil, being controlled by evil people, I think it's kind of a blue pill position.
I think at its inception, if you are already considering that you're even being lied to, you're not fully blue pilled. Because I think that the blue pilled that I really think of that are like truly blue pilled are the people that are like, did you hear what Dr. Fauci said? You know, and it's like, that's the gospel. So I think that even if you are aware that you're being lied to, you're already into the purple realm. Maybe I'm giving too much credit to people, but like you're already en route to the red. If you're aware that even if you're only aware that one side is lying to you, like I feel like if you're a Fox News viewer or if you're a hardcore CNN viewer, you are already aware that there is deception within the media realm. So I wouldn't consider you a fully blue-pilled. However, I would still consider you blue-pilled because you believe that one of these entities is telling you the truth 24/7, whereas you and I would probably believe they're being lied to almost all the time.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the red. I mean, we kind of already defined it a little bit. I don't know if you want to add more onto it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, but for people that don't know, the origin of this entire concept is just a play off of the Matrix, where they have the red and the blue pill, and Neo is offered to take whichever one, and if you take the red, there's no going back. If you take the blue, you go back to your comfortable bullshit world. So yeah, for me, the red pill is just accepting the fact that there is truth out there, but it is not what you're receiving on a day-to-day basis, and that you're essentially become kind of a missionary to attain it. And oftentimes it can go awry when you take too many of them, as Malice has said, and then you kind of end up in the Alex Jones realm where everything's evil and there's truly satanic people that are running everything, and you have to fight them with your mortal soul. I try to avoid going that path.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty fair. I mean, I don't really have much to add to the red pill. That's just when you realize that they're evil. Like it's evil. They're lying to you. Like this isn't, I mean, at its root, it's just fucked, essentially. So, I mean, really, honestly, I think a good way of looking at it is the minarchist-anarchist divide. I mean, it's not perfect because there are blue-pilled anarchists, but roughly speaking, usually that like minarchist-anarchist divide kind of usually holds up. Because I know like once I like crossed that divide, then I just couldn't see things from a blue pill perspective anymore. Once I crossed that, I read Anatomy of the State, and at that point, I was like, fuck, I'm an anarchist. And from there, I was like, it was red pills, nothing but. So.
Yep. Same path for me. The only difference was I was raised into libertarianism by my dad, so I found the red pill even though I was already a libertarian, which is kind of unique because usually the red pill leads towards libertarianism. So that's the only difference for me, but otherwise I agree.
Yeah. All right, black pill. Yeah, you want to go and provide a definition of that?
Black pill is just once you realize that you're being lied to and you're finding truth in other corridors and other narratives, you start to get really depressed and feel apathy and hopelessness, and you tend to believe that the deck is so stacked against you that you have no chance of prevailing. So that would be kind of, I guess QAnon would be more white pilled, which we'll get into, but QAnon has a narrative that's black pilled in that we're being ran by literal pedophiles that are sex trafficking and murdering children. So that's pretty black pilled. But then they have this belief, which is why I consider them white pilled, in that they're going to have this knight on a white horse come in and save everybody. And
Gandalf coming over the hill of Helm's Deep.
Yeah, well, I was thinking more Trump, but yes, exactly.
Yeah, black pill is just pessimism generically. That's so move on to white pill, which I mean, if you can, it's the converse of black. But I mean, if you have anything to add to that.
No, that's about it. I mean, it's finding optimism and hope within the darkness. Even though you're red pilled, you've now come around to the fact that like if enough people get red pilled, you can now maintain optimism that this system is actually salvageable. Yeah, and I mean it's just optimism basically. But like I do think the progression is like generally speaking, is red to black, because like once you realize that this is like the cathedral and it's all created, like it's just essentially evil and they're lying to you. I mean, a lot of times despair follows that. So, and then from there, I think that despair is what then causes you to kind of get ready, to start being like, well, if we're fucked, I need to do some shit. And then from there, once you start getting a little bit more ready, you might start feeling like white pill, like, oh shit, we got it. Right. So I'll go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. Clear pill is just realism. We'll get into that more, but now it's essentially just a melding of the two. But I want to back up now to black pill, and I just kind of want to provide like anecdotes of like black pill. Like for me, like my big black pill when that shit fucking set in was it was the couve. I always call it the couve, but like when the couve when it was hitting fucking hard, like for me that was like, oh shit. Like I mean I was already red pilled at that point, but I guess I kind of got lulled into a false sense of security where I knew shit was bad, but I thought that like it was going to be like my grandchildren that were going to be dealing with it. Right. And now I'm realizing like it's probably either going to be me or my children that are going to be dealing with it. And so now that's why there's more of a sense of urgency. And that's when that black pill kicked in. And with the black pill, it caused me to be like, all right, well, shit, I need to get my stuff together. I need to like start like, I mean, not to say that I have everything together. I mean, I start like,
I fucking panic bought an AR. I already had a few guns, but I was like, I mean, there's a reason why they want to get rid of ARs. Those are pretty goddamn useful for fucking Fed boys.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And I think that anyone that was awake even somewhat prior to the lockdowns became very awake immediately after. We were like, okay, the tyranny that we feared, that we kind of expected, as you said, for our grandkids to deal with, it is upon us. And I did the same thing. I went out and became a total prepper for like 60 days after that. That's where you go down the preparation path of precious metals and cryptocurrencies and guns and ammunition and passive income through investing and all sorts of things that is a good idea probably anyways, but when you start to see a tyrannical government take hold, it becomes vital.
Yeah, especially with the way things are here, is like, it may not seem like it's that bad, but I feel like it's lulling people into dependency is what's going on now. So that's why I do think it's very important to, even though you might just want to be like, well, cool, we got stimmies or whatever. And don't get me wrong, I'm all about fucking give them stimmies out, bitches. Like, fucking keep them coming. I mean, I get it's not good, but I'm going to take them stimmies and I'm going to use it to make myself more independent, like not
Right.
more dependent on you. Because I know a lot of people that the problem is it's like it's kind of creating this divide with people where some people are like taking this and creating further dependence upon the government, whereas the smart people are like, well, I need to fucking do something with this shit.
Exactly. And that's what kind of the message of my show has been, is not so much take the stimulus money and go do that, but do it regardless. And if the stimulus money helps you do that, then you better fucking do it, because the clock is ticking, man. And I think that anytime that you're in a collapsing empire and the government is starting to just hand out money, it's a really good idea to use that to buttress yourself from what you see coming. So I'm glad that so many people are doing that now. I really think it's important. I'm not as black-pilled or whatever you want to call it as Vin Armani, in that I think that you have to flee the country immediately. However, I think there's a distinct possibility that you will have to in your lifetime. So you better have some fucking resources to be capable.
Yeah, no, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I do get that it's not maybe not entirely necessary, but if I had the ability to, I totally would be doing that too. So, I mean,
Right.
more for like your progeny, it would be the thing,
Sure.
Like I said, I think it's gonna be more. If anything, I know it's a little bit selfish, but I'm more like of the. I mean, I don't know if I'd entirely consider myself collapsitarian. It's more just like accept it's probably gonna happen, but I would rather them just keep stimmying the shit up, because I think with the more stimmies, the greater the divide they cause between the prepared and the unprepared. And I think that opens some windows. And also on top of that, like, I'd rather deal with my time than my children's. So that's my thing. So well, my kids are a little bit, they're of that age. And I'm like, fuck, it's probably gonna be them dealing with it. So I'd rather just fucking collapse, motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, I get that perspective.
Yeah.
From my vantage point, I'm just trying to, I don't really care about the fiscal security of this country anymore, because, as you said, it's kind of inevitable at this point. In my opinion, it's completely inevitable at this point. So my interest is, if they're going to bury us in debt, I would rather that money be given to us as opposed to given to political creatures, which is how it normally happens. And in truth, even though we have received more money from our government over the past year than we have historically, it is a fraction of what the corporations are receiving. So even in this environment, we are still being taken advantage of. So I don't want anybody to feel fucking grateful that they're giving us some bailouts. It's like, this is a pittance compared to what they've taken from us.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really, you just need to see it as an inevitability and just go roll with it.
Yep.
I don't know if I figured too, while we're still here on the subject of black pill, I don't know if you have any examples of black pills in this current climate that we can kind of focus on.
Man. Sure.
I mean, there's a lot. So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if there's anything to stick out to you. I mean,
I think that the push for banning guns is the biggest black pill. Like, to me, the biggest black pill of the past year was that there was no meaningful pushback against the lockdowns. The fact that people were willing to sacrifice their basic freedoms for a modicum of increased security was tremendously blackpilling for me. So that would be the greatest black pill that I can think of. Then there's the fact that they're considering stacking the Supreme Court, which would make the rule of law, essentially it'd be a single party type monopoly as opposed to the duopoly, which has not been beneficial, but the monopoly would be even worse, particularly with the Democrats in power. So that's a black pill for me. And then the gun bans and the fact that we are, borrowing and printing $7 trillion over the past 12 months, God knows how much over the remainder. And then you have the amount of foreclosures and evictions that are currently pending, but in moratoriums, that is also kind of a black pill for me. So I could go on all day.
Yeah, no, I mean, the biggest thing, I mean, the funny thing is a lot of those things you said, I actually can see a silver lining of, and actually they kind of, not to jump to the next topic, but a lot of them kind of are white pills in a sense, if you think about them from a different vantage point.
Sure.
But fucking, yeah, one of the biggest ones for the
if
past,
you're prepared.
yeah, if you're prepared. But one of the biggest things for me, like from the past like year or two, was the fucking, like, how there was no effective pushback. Like, I know the Boog movement got huge in the past few years, and not that I mean, I was for a minute kind of romanticized it because I used to be more like the minarchist type, like 1776 type individual. But over time, I kind of was like, I mean, I got to the point where I saw the Boog as an inevitability. And then after a while, I realized like, oh, that's not going to happen. Like, I have this like idea, this romanticizing of America, of this spirit of rebellion, whether I agree that it's useful or not, because usually every revolution creates just a new fucking establishment. But I thought, I had this feeling that fucking spirit was somehow still in there. And I was kind of like, they're only gonna be able to push so far. Like,
yes, I had the exact same. I had the exact same arc. I was a total believer that there was a huge swath of this country that would never allow themselves to be locked down. And because we are the most heavily armed nation in the history of the world, I mean, we own more than 25% of the total guns on Earth. I thought that there was no chance that tyranny could really take root in this country because I thought people would fight back. And I think what I learned is that while there are a lot of guns, there's not a lot of will to use them. And I'm not lamenting that fact. I'm a peaceful person and I don't really want violence. But at the same time, I very much would prefer, dangerous freedom over passive slavery. And as of yet, we are yet to see any meaningful pushback. The only pushback that we saw over the past 12 months that was meaningful was on behalf of, social justice causes and things like that, which I think are valuable. But at the same time, the fact that you couldn't get any meaningful MAGA rallies to push back against the lockdowns was very blackpilling. Yeah,
especially because I don't feel like it really takes much. Like, if you just have an effective like group of individuals, like you can't enforce it. It is what it is. But when you get broken off into groups and the gang called the police, because there were some actual instances during the lockdowns where there were ones who were disobeying, but they were few and far between. I mean, there were a few good stories of which they made it work out, but there were also a couple where the cops just came in and stormed the motherfuckers, and that was that,
Well, the problem is that there was so few that they're notable. Like you can actually think of some of the businesses that you heard about fighting, like Attila's Gym in New Jersey, and there's a handful of restaurants that you might have heard about on like Tucker Carlson and things like that. But there was no significant, and nothing even coming close to eclipsing or matching the amount of protesters that got on the street for George Floyd. So I think that was both uplifting and devastating all at once, because it was like, I was happy, honestly, to see people get on the streets. I was just really sad to see that it was for that purpose, and that purpose exclusively, where they were painting anybody that was opposed to the lockdown as a racist. I mean, that, like, if you were an anti-lockdown person, you couldn't even really march alongside the Black Lives Matter people. And to me, they're fighting the same fight, whether they know it or not. They're fighting against the state and tyranny. At least that's at its root. That's what they're actually fighting against. And I, granted, they don't know it, but I think that was the most heartbreaking thing. And I said it, and I got a lot of shit from libertarians that are like, "Oh, you don't know about Black Lives Matter? You don't know what it is." Yeah, I know what the fuck it is, man. I know exactly what it is. But I'm talking about the people on the street that thought that they were doing it to end police brutality. Like, those people should be reachable. And the fact that they aren't is like, man, we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, no, fucking, that was a big black pill too for me. The fucking, because like, I not gonna lie, I had like a big like white pill moment when the fucking, whenever the whole like George Floyd riots happened. Because initially, like, they were legit like targeting like fucking police stations, courthouses. Right. And I mean, I'm not gonna necessarily say I support that or not, but I mean, I got a little bit of a chub. But like, I was like, this is pretty fucking dope. Like, right. But then and there was this energy of like kind of brought the Black Lives Matter crowd, the Boog boys, some of the libertarians, like, and it was kind of this melding. But then it kind of shifted and became what it became, and became this attacking the private businesses. And like, it kind of ties into a point me and you had on an episode the other day, the Tower Power Hour, when we were both on it. And I was kind of talking about, and this was actually in reference to a specific individual, because we were talking about how like the the cult of personality. We were talking about with Dave, and I feel like this is a good example of that. I mean, there wasn't like a single individual. It was just like the Black Lives Matter thing in general. It's like people got caught up in that, like the energy of being like, look at this is cool. But then once it went the wrong way, too many people weren't able to be like, and fucking step back. You know what I mean? They didn't have like a consistent place of like, no, I'm fucking out. Like most people just like kind of rode with it and kind of were making justifications until they were so deep into making justifications that now they just kind of had to be like, almost borderline stick with it. And that's where we got a lot of that divide from the libertarians this year too.
Yeah. So. Well, and that's the danger of Marxist tactics, is that they use human nature against itself. They use like this desire to protect the downtrodden and to lift them up. And that, I mean, this was a perfect example of it. They had, I don't know about where you're at, but where I'm at, I saw more white people marching for Black Lives Matter than I saw any other minorities. So this was a very unified movement, if you consider it just based off race. And the fact that like people didn't realize or recognize that we aren't each other's enemies by seeing that was really sad to me, because it's like you look to your left and your right. You're surrounded by white people. Like, do you honestly believe that every white person that's not there is an overt racist? Like, it's just perplexing to me that people can think that, you know, if you look at the civil rights movements of the 60s, it was largely black people in those crowds. It's a very different vibe now. And I think that's really hard evidence of how much improvement we've made. And yet people still tend to portray it as if it's not evolved at all, that we are just, you know, you have Georgia voting laws and it's Jim Crow. It's worse than Jim Crow, according to Joe Biden. I mean, this is it's just a bizarre kind of gaslighting experience to witness all this.
Yeah, it is just bizarre. Like, I don't know. I just can't even understand that reasoning. Like, I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people get caught up in it, but it's like, sure, you can find racism, but it's like, that doesn't mean it's a pervasive thing to like you think it is. All right, let's move on to the white pill. You know, like I said earlier, like the white pill generally leads out of black because the black gets you prepared. That's kind of, for me, like the little anecdote I have is it was kind of like once during the COVID, once I started getting all my shit together. And that's when I started seeing like a white pill, because like I started networking, starting to get to know my neighbors, you know, started developing some skills, all sorts of shit. And I kind of started seeing like ways out of it, you know, like how this would work. So I don't know if you have anything similar, an anecdote. I mean, you said earlier, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, obviously my show taking off and getting to meet all you guys and to feel as if I wasn't alone in this fight was certainly white pilling. The fact that there's thousands of us that, you know, probably tens, maybe even hundreds of thousands of us that really see this stuff and understand it and kind of have each other's back was a feeling that I hadn't had. So I appreciated that. That kind of white pilled me. In truth, until I flee California, which I intend to do in July, I don't think that I'll be fully white pilled, because I still feel like I live in enemy territory, even though this is my hometown where I was born and raised. And in truth, I probably won't feel white pilled until my family also flees California. So that's the hardest part for me, is like, because I'm financially free, I can look after myself and almost certainly survive whatever comes, especially with my worldview that like I'm preparing now. But I'm very concerned about my friends and family, and I don't know how to reach them. And, you know, fortunately, I've reached many of them, particularly with my show, because many of them also listen. But it's just scary, man. It's just scary because like you're not going to be able to save everybody. Like, that's just the truth. And so I'm just, I'm trying to fight as hard as I can to reach as many as possible.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a I don't know, just to provide a distinction here. You're in Cali, I'm in Florida. So it is like, I have to remind myself sometimes how it is other places, because it's like I got it pretty goddamn good here in Florida, and sometimes I forget, like, because I hear you talk sometimes, and it's not the experience I have. And it's not to say that Florida is like completely expunged of this shit too. I mean, there is. I mean, like certain places, I feel maybe compelled to wear a mask or some shit. I mean, but even then, it's like half the time I don't really have to. I think someone asked me to wear one like a couple weeks ago, and I put it on. I was like, oops, my bad. And that was it. And even then that was like, seemed out of place. And it's like,
that's awesome.
You know, like, that's just how it is here. I mean, I live like 45 minutes outside Tampa. So like when you go to Tampa, I mean, like, it's kind of like that, but even then in Tampa, like most places you can go in the mask, no one's saying anything. I mean, there'd probably be at least half, if not more, will be wearing masks, but no one says shit to you if you don't usually.
Okay.
So
well, to me, that's actually really blackpilling though, because the fact that Florida is looked at as like the freest state right now because of DeSantis and like just perception wise, the fact that it's not 100% back to normal is really concerning to me. Like, we are a year into this thing. We know the risks. Many people are vaccinated. Like, that's a pretty bad black pill for me, to be honest.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, yes and no. I mean, because like, I don't know. I guess that's kind of like, that is the perception outside the world, is it is like completely, but it's not really how it is. But it's a lot of the businesses thing. So but even then, it's like I said, like no one really enforces it. So I really do think in the future in Florida, it's just going to die off. Like, because I just don't see that being able to be a thing that they push for in Florida. I just don't.
As long as it does, Florida's near the top of my list for relocation. So, God willing.
Yeah, like I was getting at where I'm at, like out in like the country, like because I live like 45 minutes outside Tampa, like no one wears their shit. And then like, but there are people. I mean, there are some people who do, but even then, it's not like no one gives a shit if you don't. So I mean, it's like I guess there are people who do. And to be fair, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much. Not to get in the weeds, but there are like some people that sure, okay, you could probably justify maybe you should wear one, and I understand that. Like I don't know. I mean, I don't buy into the science of it, and I get a lot, but most people aren't like that well educated on that stuff. And so they just think, I have an elderly, grandma that lives with me or whatever, which sure. But most people, that's not the case. And I really can't understand it all. If you don't have any sort of, immunocompromised person you spend a decent amount of time with, it's kind of hard to provide any reasoning for it. So
I can't come up with any reason for it. Honestly, it's like, if you're young and healthy, I don't understand. And now that there's enough vaccine available for literally anybody that wants it, I just feel like this is a total non-starter issue. Like, you cannot possibly maintain these mask mandates. And that's why I'm fleeing California, because I feel like there's a chance that they just continue to roll this shit over us forever. And I can't do it, man. I have to go somewhere. If I have to leave the country to get there, I will, because it's like the masks bother me that much. Like, it really does.
Yeah, no, I hate this shit. Like there was a period of time where I was like kind of going along with it just because I just didn't want to deal with the hassle, but I just basically don't wear it anywhere now. Like, I mean, my thing is like, if someone asks me to, that's a rarity. If someone asks me to, I will. Like, if I'm at some business and they're like, sir, could you, I'd be like, oh, my bad. But I'm the very minimum going to make you ask. Cause like, I mean, why the fuck? And I know a lot of people got really gay at the beginning of this with like fucking private property rights and shit, and be like, oh, if someone sets a rule, but it's like, I don't know, if I had a buddy who set some rule and then I don't obey that rule, it's more, I feel like it's on him to be like, get the fuck out. Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm
not going to cut to it right away.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, like it's on you at that point. And, I completely agree with property rights. If those people want to be like, get out of our establishment because you're not following my rule, I'm like, okay, whatever, fair enough.
Right.
So,
well, and it's such a misleading argument anyways, because these mask dictates came down from the government. So like, I don't know how you even get into this argument of, oh, it's a private business, it can do what it wants. It's like, the reason they're doing it is because the people have been propagandized to believe that they're under threat, and the propaganda came from the government. Like, sure, I mean, but like, for instance, if the government was propagandizing that all white people were dangerous, so that white people weren't allowed in anywhere, in any establishment that forbid them, would we all just be like, this is cool? Like, no, obviously we wouldn't. We'd be like, the government is evil, and the businesses that are doing this are also evil. So I just think that people really need to shake this entire knee-jerk libertarian defense against, or in defense of businesses' property rights and all this bullshit, because it's like, no business would have done this from the inception, or very few would have done this from the inception if it was up to their own decision making. And if the government had never mandated it, I don't think it would have ever been rolled out as pervasively as it was, not even close. So that's why I push back against it so aggressively.
Yeah. I think that's part of that whole like private property bro type argument, or private company bro argument. Why I think part of why agorism blew up so much was because of that. Like, that's one big thing with Konkin, which I don't know if you've read Konkin. I mean, but like, that's one thing he goes into is a lot, in how like he like, it's almost like a little bit leftish in a way, like left libertarian in a certain sense, because he's very much like anti-corporation, but not but more in the sense of the whole idea here of like, it's the government that enables them to be at the size they are. And if there wasn't a government, they wouldn't be like that. So I do think there's some reason why agorism became such a trendy thing this past year. It's because it really was hitting on some shit that I feel like, and don't get me wrong, Rothbard did touch on it, but I don't feel like he emphasized it.
Yeah,
so
it wasn't his focus.
Yeah, so and I mean to be fair, I mean he's not a prophet, so I mean it wasn't like he knew what way this fucking empire was going to go, but you know, he didn't know it was going to be the fascism route. But I think that's why, you know, Konkin kind of resonated with a lot of people in this past year. It was kind of like because he put more of a focus on that. You know?
Makes sense to me. I mean, just if you're trying to diagnose what's coming and you happen to hit it right, which Konkin did and Rothbard somewhat did, it makes sense that the former would get more clout in this period. And it's unfortunate because I wish we didn't go down this path, but here we are.
Yeah, no, I had to provide that caveat that Rothbard did because I knew someone out there was going to get all upset that like, well, no, Rothbard did too. I'm like, yes, he did, but it wasn't an emphasis.
Exactly. It's okay. Relax, nerds. We're fine.
Like, I love Rothbard too, okay?
Me too. He's the reason I'm an ANCAP.
Yeah, same here. So fucking anyways, we're supposed to be focusing on white pills. So let's go on white pills. One thing you brought up that I thought was a really good white pill, because I started podcasting roughly around the same time you did. I was blown away by what an easy fucking, maybe not easy is the right word, but what a inclusive is not the right word either, but it was a welcoming community, you know, there you go. Because like fucking literally there's probably only two people that I think I probably couldn't get. I mean, if I really tried, and right now, and they'd probably be like Tom Woods and Dave. Like, and even then, that's because like really, they're probably the only two guys that are like the ones that you have to get. You really got to put in the work to get them. And that's not to say anything bad about anyone else. It's just they're like a different breed. So like,
well, I mean, they're the only ones that are like really making a living at this stuff either. So I think that's the other thing that people forget is like, this is a very small pond that we're swimming in. So like, yeah, there are two, maybe five two big fish, maybe five medium-sized fish. And then everybody else is kind of down at the bottom. So I think that's why it's ripe for new voices, and I think that's why people are so friendly to each other, because it's like we're all trying. I love it because it just feels like a total meritocracy where it's like there's only going to be a handful of us that, just as I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a capitalist, I'm a businessman. So like the way I view this is there's only going to be a handful of us that get everybody's ears, and it's going to be based off merit. Like, simple as that. So like we're gonna all help each other. We're gonna all lift each other up, and then may the best man win. But the fact that people are so friendly about it and everyone helps each other's shows grow, I think is a beautiful thing, and I'm happy to be a participant in it.
Yeah, no, it's been fucking awesome. Like, I mean, there's been so many people. I mean, it's one of those things that, like, when you get into it, you're like, I mean, you kind of almost weirdly like starstruck. I know it sounds like cringy, but like. And then you get like, because I remember when I had Pete on, I felt like kind of weird about it because Pete, like honestly, Pete and Dave are probably like my two biggest, like, I guess I don't like the word idols, but like, I don't know, heroes or whatever. Because I mean, I have disagreements with both of them, like fairly big disagreements, but whatever. Like, I mean, I don't feel like I should have to say that, but they are people who have heavily influenced my thinking in a lot of different ways. So I was like, having Pete on was like fucking like what, like, and almost every person I've hit up to come on the show has not only been like, yes, immediately, we're generally speaking pretty easy, even scheduling wise, like, because you kind of assume they would be like divas and be like, well, I have this, that. I mean, I will be honest, like Pete, but he's a busy guy. So, I mean, it was, he's legit a busy dude. So I was entirely expecting that.
I don't think it makes you a diva if your schedule's packed up, because like I'm in that position now. So I hope people don't think I'm being a diva when I'm like, yo, I got to schedule this out like a month because my calendar's fucking full, man. But, yeah, I think that I had the same exact experience. I mean, Pete was the first, quote unquote, big name that came on my show, and I didn't expect him to say yes. And the fact that he was willing, and the fact that he liked me enough to, invite me on his show, and the fact that then he goes on Part of the Problem and he talks to Dave about me, that I probably wouldn't have got on Dave's show without that. So it's like, you just never know, man. And it's awesome that these guys that are already making a living at it are willing to lift the rest of us up.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, the big thing though, Dave, Pete, if you have him on, and he says it a lot, like he doesn't want to do like Libertarian 101 shit. I asked him to come on to re-review The Mandalorian. So,
oh, no shit. I think I watched a bit of that. But I had never seen The Mandalorian, so I had to shut it off.
I was actually a little bit embarrassed by that because like I actually had a lot of shit going on in my like personal life that day, but then I was like, so I wasn't able to prepare like I wanted to.
Right.
So I was a little bit like, but I was like, shit, I don't want to reschedule.
But just go for it.
Yeah, and I also was super nervous because it was Pete. But yeah. Are you got any other notable white pills from this past year or so, or like just things that you can think of? Because I know there's some I can think of. But
yeah, I think that the other big one for me is cryptocurrency. I mean, I think that there's a real chance that becomes kind of our lifeboat. I'm also nervous about it. So like, it's not without its perils, but I mean, any lifeboat is going to be perilous. So I think that that's our greatest hope for carrying any semblance of wealth from the collapse to the other side. I mean, also, I think that precious metals play a role, and I would recommend that people do not go. I think diversification is very important in this environment because we don't know what's going to survive the collapse. Even though a lot of people are ride or die Bitcoin, or they're ride or die Ethereum, or they're ride or die gold and silver. Like, you don't know. You don't know what's going to be the best medium of exchange in this unknown future. So, but anyways, yes, that would be my white pill.
Yeah, one I want to touch on that kind of leads into the next point of the clear pill. I mean, leads into it big. I think there's been a big energy towards nullification and secession, and this kind of also weirdly kind of ties into it. I also think, in some sense, Biden is a fucking white pill, because like I know is a lot of people scared and they think like, oh, he's passing this law or this or that. But at the end of the day, like, yes, but what teeth do they really have? And then on top of that, like, really just look at the motherfucker. Like, you really don't think people, because I mean, I don't know if you've read Larkin Rose's book, the Authority, or fuck the, God, I can't think of the Most Dangerous Superstition is what it's called, and it's the whole idea is that government is essentially religion, and it's like the myth of authority is what it's like essentially centered around. And like, so the idea for me is to dispel that authority. Because, like, what's the difference between a mob and the government? Like, perception of authority. That's it.
Right.
Like, so if we can get people to drop this perception of authority, then it goes from being a government to a mob real quick. And what best to do it than a fucking senile, inept, corrupt old man? Like,
yeah,
you know?
I mean, I'm both white and black pilled on Biden. Like, I think that he is the figurehead and the empty vessel for ushering in some of the most dystopic policies that you can imagine. So I think there's plenty of reason to be blackpilled about the Biden presidency, but simultaneously, he is a very beatable opponent. Unfortunately, I don't believe he's our opponent. I think the people that run him are our opponent, and I don't think that they're fragile, senile old men. So that's, I don't know. You could be black or white depending on how you look at that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I agree, but at the same time, I feel like that implies that now their puppets are deteriorating. So, like, what does that say about them? Like, what kind of grip do they really have?
I actually agree with that. I do think that their grip is very tenuous. Like they don't have us how they used to, and I think that the fact that you're dealing, like, if you want to be really positive, if you want to be really white pilled, which is Malice's new kick, is you can look at the fact that they're doing censorship so pervasively as evidence that we're actually doing something here, that we're actually making a difference in the American ethos, that we're breaking through to the deeply indoctrinated, and we're starting to get them to think outside the box, but not just think outside of it, but push outside of it. And they're trying to keep us in it. So I think that there's reason to be hopeful there for sure.
Yeah, and this kind of moves on to the next point of the clear pill, and the clear pill is realism. And so the thing is, there are black pills and there are white pills, and I think we need to move away from this. I mean, this is something that was like we were kind of indoctrinated to, and even as anarchists, I feel like it's hard to dispel this idea of nationalism. As much as we may mock it, to some extent, we're still caught up in it. So we have this idea that, you know, the USA is either going to go good or it's going to go shit, but it's not that simple. Like, it's not zeros and ones. Like,
no, it's not.
Yeah,
none of this really is.
Yeah, so the way I see it, like a good analogy to kind of like bring into picture here, I was thinking about this the other day, is I feel like the fucking state right now is a dying beast. And what happens, like, say if we look at it as a lion, let's say the state's a lion. Like, lions patrol like tons of miles. I don't remember exactly, but something ridiculous amount of land they patrol. And you can almost say that's their property or whatever. Now, let's say the lion's dying, it's wounded. What is it going to do? It's going to recede to where it feels comfortable, like where it has the biggest foothold of power. And that's going to, be like, say it's a fucking Simba, it'd be like Pride Rock or some shit. So, like, what is that now? That's that's blue states and fucking cities.
Well,
so, like,
or if you want to make it an even more elegant analogy, you can say it's the Capitol surrounded by barbed wire. So, I mean, if you want to be really white pilled about it, it's like these dudes are scared. So
yeah, and so, but the thing is too, the other thing with a fucking wounded beast is it becomes more dangerous, and it's also more present in its home location. So the thing is, like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, we want to stand and fight or this or that, and like, you can do what you want. I mean, maybe there is some like merit to it, but like, say you're right outside Pride Rock. May not be the smartest idea to be chilling there when the fucking wounded lion's around, like maybe you ought to move a little bit further. And with that, I think it provides a more of a foothold we can have in other locations, and that's kind of where
basically it makes it so that they can't so aggressively and successfully defend the entire territory is essentially what you're saying. Like they can only really defend these small enclaves, and that's demonstrated pretty definitively by the fact that, as you said, the red states, they're kind of having to relinquish their power over. And I think that as DeSantis has been successful politically, I think it's a really good sign that the other red state governors will become more and more, freedom oriented and libertarian oriented. And I hope that's the case. I mean, it's yet to be told, but let's hope.
Yeah, no, I definitely. And that's why I'm saying it's not as simple as black or white. I do think it's a little bit of a range. It's more about putting yourself in the right spot going forward. It's also, you got to think generationally, like kind of like we were talking about with Vin, where like maybe it's not necessary for him to be in Saipan now, but his kids and his grandchildren are going to reap the benefits of it. Because I mean, so Konkin talked a lot about this a lot too in his New Libertarian Manifesto. Now, he predicted that the downfall of the state going forward, like he kind of predicted that they would kind of recede to like bubbles almost. But within those bubbles, they would stamp down further power. So if to a smooth brain or someone who doesn't think about it on an elevated level, it may look like the state is getting more authoritarian and way more dangerous, but it's like, sort of, but not really. They are becoming more dangerous within a more closed-in area. If anything, they're dying. They're trying to maintain some foothold of power, and that's it.
It's true. I think that the biggest existential risk to us is that in their death throes, which is what you're describing, they initiate a war that's truly catastrophic, and that is the biggest risk to me. Is that they go to war with China or Russia or Iran or some big boy. I mean, Iran would be the least of our concerns. China or Russia would be catastrophic. So either way, it's catastrophic, but you know what I mean? So that is my biggest concern, is that will the dying beast die at least somewhat peacefully, or will it go down swinging? And if it goes down swinging, then Vin is going to look very prophetic for having fled when he did. So I don't know. Well, obviously I hope for the best, and I hope that the state can kind of go the way of the USSR and disband in that way. Even though that'll be very tumultuous in its own right, I think it would be probably the best case scenario that we could hope for at this point, as opposed to maybe a peaceful secession movement where the red states band together. Even though I don't really want to be in a red state, I would like to see that as an option, so that I don't have to consider Saipan or some foreign country to flee the catastrophe I see coming.
I mean, personally, obviously I'm not a prophet. I don't know how this exactly is going to work, but I would think even within blue states, if you get to a more rural area, you probably will be okay as well. Because I don't think it's going to be red and blue perfectly is how it's going to work, but I think it'll be more rural and city. But then obviously I think red states will probably be a little bit better overall. So
I just meant in terms of secession. I don't think that you would see many blue states banding together with red states for that secession movement. I think it would probably be a pretty politically aligned secession. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting, but I do tend to believe that America will be balkanized within our lifetime.
Yeah, that's definitely the way I see it too. And that's why I think it is important to look at it from the clear pills perspective of, it's realism. I got shit I got to do, and I need to start moving that way. And and I know people will be like, oh, well, what about other people? Like, the end of the day, like, I mean, I want to help everybody I can, and I'm going to sit here and keep screeching into the fucking airwaves of what you need to do. But if you don't fucking listen, sorry.
I mean, that's the truth. I have as severe a hero complex as anybody else out there. I really, really spend a lot of time on my show trying to advise people on how to best prepare and how to survive what I think is coming. But I'm not God. I'm not capable of saving everybody. So at the end of the day, I'm going to look after those that are closest to me and those that I love the most, and try and reach as many people as I can. But yeah, it's incumbent on everybody else to take that responsibility on their own shoulders, because like it's going to be daunting. Like you need to do it for yourself.
And for the mentality of, I know a lot of people are like, I want to like stamp down in this area and fight and push back or whatever. I mean, obviously it completely depends on where we're talking about. Cause we're using the analogy of the state being a lion. Like if you're right on the foothill of fucking Pride Rock, maybe not the greatest idea. If you're a mile away, maybe you're in the clear. I don't know. Right. But if you're like right on the foothills and you want to be like, I want to stand up and fight, I might be like, I'm going to be like, do what you feel like you need to do. But at the same time, it might be fucking retarded. So it's kind of like, you got to think these things through a little bit, Yeah.
And if America starts to look like Canada, you got to really consider, moving out, or moving, at least at the very minimum, getting the hell out of the cities. Because that's where, as you said, they will have the most capacity to maintain that power structure. And it's also going to be the most dangerous environment, not just because of the government, but because of crime and homelessness and all these other things that are kind of exogenous factors in the collapse of the state. So, yes, I guess. What would you describe me as clear-pilled? What do you think?
I think so. When I first contacted you for this, I was listening to you and you were like more black-pilled. But I have noticed, I've been listening to you and your thinking has changed a little bit, I think. Not to say I'm like any better thinker or whatever. Than I have seen you shift, and I have noticed a little bit more of a clear pill. I just think people are too like black or white, and it's like I do like the utility of the clear pill, and that's like, because I do think the white pill, it's good to have that optimism, but once that like starry-eyed wears off, I think you need to maintain this like, all right, I got fucking shit to do, and to bring it into like how I was talking about earlier, like how this applies to me. Like, for example, my wife's kind of pissed that I want to get out of the military because I make good fucking money. But sure. Part of it is, I think going forward, you don't want to, like, even from a selfish perspective, I don't want to be fucking working for the government. Like, if I'm going to retire from the military, I have 9 years left. And I mean, that's a sketchy timetable. It's 9, like, do I have 9 years till my pension to where it's okay? I don't fucking know. That's kind of real goddamn close. I'm not sure. So yeah. I'm like, am I willing to take that gamble? Because it's not even as simple as just like as like the money. Because it's like, I do think you do not want to be dependent on the government, like going forward, period. Like, even if it's your, like, whether you have a government job, whatever. And I completely understand people who are like, feel trapped. Even now I have this feeling like I still kind of feel trapped. Like, I get paid. I've been in 11 years. I get paid fucking good ass money, but it's like, I mean, do what you can. And that's what I said earlier. If it comes down to it and I'm fucking like, say some financial hardship occurs during this period of time, the next few months, I gotta fucking feed my kids. It is what it is. I mean,
of course.
But fucking like, I know a lot of people get about that. I mean, whatever, I'm more like how Pete is these days, where it's kind of like cool, like principles, whatever. I'm more like, I don't know if you've read Sterner. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, I have not. Okay. I'd suggest it's great reading, but he kind of is like, his whole thing is like morality and like principles are a spook. Like, so like principles should serve you. You shouldn't serve your principles. So like, if it comes to a point where it's a conflict of like, hey, my kids need to eat, or I got to follow my principles. Sorry, my kids are going to fucking eat.
Well, whether or not you view it that way, I think that's what people do. It's just like, that's like, if you're starving, you might steal from a store. Like, are you actually giving up on your principles, or are you just trying to survive? So I think it's human nature. We're all going to revert to self-survival at some point. Yeah. But even from a self-survival perspective, I think it's for, like, say for me, for example, I think it's actually best to get away from it. Because I don't think it's going to be a place I want to be in the next. I agree. Since I was a kid, I've been preparing to be financially free because I was so confident that the government would collapse in my lifetime and that there would be no possible chance that I would receive Social Security or any of this nonsense that they promise us, Medicare, Medicaid, all that. So yeah, I'm with you, man. Believe me, I am not relying on the state for fucking anything.
No, this was like a wide-eyed moment for me because I'm the opposite. I knew it was going to collapse at some point, but I was thinking like 100 years. So I'm not going to lie. I was like, I'm going to do my 20. I'm going to get out. I'm a mechanic. So it's not like I'm out there killing Hodgies. Like,
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I have some moral culpability of the shit going on, but I mean, it's pretty easy. It's a lot easier to sleep at night than if I'm someone pulling the trigger. I mean,
Of course. Yeah.
But now it's like shit. Like this could collapse in fucking 10 years for all I fucking know. You know, I mean, I'm thinking more like 30 to 50, but I mean, a year ago I was thinking 100. So my timetable is not that fucking accurate, obviously.
Yeah, well, I think we got 20 at best before we have a major economic reset, and I think 2030 is actually my real estimate for like when this shit actually becomes whatever it's going to become after. So yeah, if you have 9 years, that puts you right at my deadline. So I don't know if I'd risk it either.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I've been telling everybody who's in like, don't get me wrong. I tell people that are like over 10 years, like, okay, you got to weigh that risk, whatever. I get it. Like if you're 3 years from a pension, I mean,
of course,
it would be like you'd be borderline retarded to get out. Like, you know, like, okay, principles are great and all, but it's like, dude, that's a fucking pension.
Right. No, for sure. And pensions are hard to come by. It's just a matter of, will that pension actually buy you anything by the time you receive it? And we'll find out.
But now I've been telling anyone, if you have under 10 years, get the fuck out. Like, there's no excuse whatsoever. Like, I know, because it is like military does a good job of like trapping you because we get paid pretty goddamn good money. So it's like, and it's like it definitely competes with the private market like above. So it's like you're gonna have to take a pay cut if you get out. So
at least
in a lot of people,
in the beginning.
Hard.
Yeah. But I think people should also keep in mind that you will never receive as much as you're potentially worth in the military. Like if you're a really tremendous mechanic, I assure you can make more privately. Like if you grind and you put in the time, or you start your own company or something like that. Just from my experience, I was making 50 grand a year working for my dad, and then my first year as an entrepreneur, I made 6 times that. So yeah, I would always encourage anybody that has the skill set and has the capability, has the drive, has the entrepreneurial spirit, go out there and do it on your own, man, and do not rely on the government moving forward if you can avoid it at all.
Yeah, the government does a good job of like, say for example, the mechanic thing, like that put like it. You can make slightly above average, like, and be a shit mechanic.
Right.
So it's like, you know, like it's almost too easy to be like, well, why would I go to the private market and make like less? And it's also kind of lulls you into not being as skilled, because that is the thing. Like it's not a meritocracy in the government. It just isn't.
No,
so
it's
like
not. That's why I'm saying it'll benefit you more in the private market, because the private market, even though it's corrupt and it's fascistic and all this other shit that we talked about, it is still more of a meritocracy than any government position you'll find. So,
all right. Well, I feel like I've kept you long enough. I feel like we did a good job explaining what the clear pill is. I feel like you are fucking clear pilled.
Cool.
So you just need to
thank you for converting me, sir.
You just need to get the fuck out of Cali.
I will, man.
Yeah.
And then I'll overdose on white pills, aka cocaine, in Miami.
Hey, cocaine's a hell of a drug. I highly suggest sex on coke if you do try it. It's fucking fun.
Okay. Thank you for the tip, Jose Calison.
I just heard from a friend. Just saying. You want to go ahead and drop your plugs, whatever you got?
Sure. I am at Liberty Lockpod on Twitter, and I am Liberty Lockdown on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, Liberty, what's it called? Instagram. Damn it. I almost had it perfectly done. So yeah, give me a follow, give me a sub, and I will catch you next time.
Yeah, definitely a good follow. I highly suggest his most recent episode with Vin. Like that was the tits. That was a good episode. It was long, but it's fucking worth it.
That dude is so interesting.
Yeah, I love Vin, and your episode perfectly hit on the shit people were interested, especially this week. And I feel like even me, like for example, like let people know, like I mentioned in here, I'm an agorist, I'm a non-voting anarchist, and like I have my arguments for why I'm against like political involvement in general. And even then, some of the shit Vin brought up made me kind of shift my thinking and think about it in a different way. So that's great. Vin's always a great listen, and you brought out a good side of him in your interview.
Cool. Well, I appreciate that. I was very interested in getting to, not just the bottom of his book, which was fascinating, and I would recommend that as well, but also his little spat with Dave and figuring out where his heart was at, because the energy of that conversation was not very positive. So I just wanted to see it a little bit, from all sides. And then I've started listening to him on Lions of Liberty earlier today, which just came out, and I think that they dig into it a little bit further. So yeah, check him out, and thank you for having me on, man.
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad to finally do it. I've been waiting to do this for a while. I mean, last time we did, I had fucking had cats give birth the night we were going to do it. So I fucked it all up.
Money in the bank, Playboy.
Yeah, for sure.
Get that shaved pussy money.
Hell yeah. Fucking with that, I'm on the No Way Jose YouTube channel. I'm also everywhere audio podcasts are at. Like I said, the Liberty Movement thing is no more. I'm going to hopefully do an episode here soon. Maybe by the time it's out, it'll already be one, or a quick little blurb explaining what's going on there, because I would like someone who would be interested to take it over. You can hit me up at libertymovementglobal@gmail.com. Give me money at patreon.com/nowayjose2020. I like money a lot, so fucking please do that.
Give me money.
Crypto at endthefed.app. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. I really appreciate you coming. I can't tell you how much I've been looking forward to this one a lot. So
awesome, man. Well, I hope I didn't disappoint. Thank you so much.
No, it was fun. I had a good time. With that, deuces.